Here we are, everyone, for another episode of Arcturian Philosophy with Professor Andromeda. Today, or tonight, I figured we would do some Kryon channeling. Now, I don't really feel comfortable completely channeling him yet because I don't really feel good enough to do that yet, even though I could. So instead, I'll talk about topics as he would want to talk about them. He said, you never thought that you'd fit into this dress that you liked. Why don't you try and put it on? And I said, you're crazy. And the dress fit perfectly, and he said, tell me what you thought you were when you wore this dress. And I was 16 years old when I wore this dress, and I wore it to my junior prom, and I went there, and I called myself a Russian ice princess, or Russian ice queen, or something. That was what I had wanted to be at the prom, yeah, Russian ice princess. And he said, say that, dressed up like that to everybody, that they'll really get a kick out of it. And that you actually became skinny enough to wear the thing again due to all the starvation at the reptilian camp. Oh, and I actually had it this dark green color and everything, because this was royal dark green was my favorite color, still is my favorite color. And nobody else, not one person, was wearing a green dress the entire prom. And I actually started the trend so that next year people were wearing green dresses, and I thought, ha 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 ha, I looked really hot, ha ha ha. But so that's Kryon said that people will think that that's funny. I think that's some sort of bizarre inside joke, or something to do with all the Russian people trying to kill me. So he would like to talk to the light workers. That means everybody watching, particularly to the light workers. That means the people doing their work during the daytime, weather permitting at this time, unfortunately, but doing their work with light, not necessarily during a daytime or a nighttime period, but doing your work with light and with practices of light rather than doing your work with darkness. So speaking to light workers, he says that yes, he knows what's going on, and this was all foreseen, and that everything is already in place to crystallize into the fifth dimension, or we're slowly crystallizing into this new form of awareness, and it's a definite, yay, you guys did it, awesome job, kind of thing. And everyone was saying that, but I did not know that I was going to end up being some kind of integral part in the whole scheme and have to actually fight to survive on a daily basis. But it is cool getting to fit into a prom dress I never thought I'd fit into ever again in my life. So that's pretty awesome. Arcturians are very skinny, and it's funny if sometimes if I get really pissed off around this town because everybody is all reptilian and like brain dead. If I get really pissed off, I'll go around like this. Because that's what kind of Arcturians kind of look like when we walk. They're about this tall. I'm 5'4", so they're about this tall. Kryon would like to address everyone, with starseed awareness. Yes, we are the ETs, but that's not the point. The point is we're the ETs, and we came to a planet that was getting screwed up and dying and being invaded, so we're fixing the planet, is the idea. And the idea is we can choose to do whatever we want to do. We're in a body that, you know, can be whatever. It can be RH negative and 6% Arcturian and almost half German and Masonic and whatever interesting stuff that I am. But your soul picks what you do. That was the biggest thing that he kept telling me, that, Krista, no matter what they do to you, they can't take your soul. No matter what they say, they can't take your soul. They can't take your soul. They can't take your soul. He would repeat it, doing his little numerology thing. And what many of you, many of you watching might be thinking, what do I don't know what to do about that. I am a mindless robot person, and I know I'm a mindless robot person, but Kryon, help me. I don't know what to do. I'm a mindless robot person, and I feel so guilty about it. For that person, Kryon says, it's okay. Just ask for help, and I'll come help you. And he does it just like that too. It's really funny. I am Kryon of Magnetic Service. He says, just ask for the help. Just ask for the help, and it will come like a flooding, overpouring something, like opening the floodgates was the words I'm trying to find. Opening the floodgates, and all you have to do is take the initiative. You just have to ask for help. You just have to say that you would like divine help to get out, and that you want to attempt to do the work to do it, and you will get the help. I randomly end up with like money in my bank account and have no idea how it got there. I don't know whether or not to trust the source of something hacking into a bank, but it seems like when we need things, regardless of other people's perspectives, with our relative perspective for what we need and want, we manifest and create our environment. So he wants to emphasize that, because we're moving into this time now where the law of attraction is getting used against us. For the light worker especially, your thoughts are very important. Monitor your thoughts. One thing that I was concerned about quite a bit when I was being attacked was thinking of talking about this, and just the thought of and saying that I almost got assassinated, just then that word, then something would hit me out of nowhere again, at the thought of it. So until you're able to create a sort of frequency where you can discuss, say, an event that you're going to call a past event, just don't think about it. Think about something completely different, entirely different. This story must be told, so it is being told because it must be told. The world must know that apparently one girl helped save the world. If nobody else tried to stop that whole nuclear thing, I did, and then a bunch of people tried to kill me like the day after. So, and threatened me in the middle of it, and tried to get me to stop in the middle of it while I was doing it. And I actually got an email that said from the United Kingdom and all kinds of stuff. So I'm pretty sure whatever it was real. And Kryon is pretty, darn, he's very indigo about this, that this is a story that must be told. And so he really loves indigo children, because, we get so angry at the system that the system, then throws the anger back at us because we get so angry at it, and feeds off it at the same time. So Kryon knows he has to take special care with the Indigo children, that we have what it takes, kind of. So Kryon talks to a lot of the Indigos. We've got what it takes, but we have to get the hardware moving. We have to get the hardware working and get everything operating. So the kids are being born with everything already in place, or with many things already active. Things that we didn't have. Because our expansion, you might be wondering, well, why did all of this have to even happen? Why? The reason why this happened is because, so say us, so the soul group of, say, Indigo children, I think our expansion was pretty cool for the Indigo children who were born sleeping, who were born asleep and then became awake and then became able to affect real changes in their environment, or things that are on a mass scale like the weather, or things like that, or stopping a nuke apparently, or things of that scale, or realizing that you are from another star system, realizing that you're an Arcturian or Pleiadian or Vegan or Lyran or whatever it is that you are. With all of this, the light is converging over the entire planet, over its entire planetary grid. He loves talking about the magnetic grids along the planet. He says the light is converging over the entire planet right now, and everything, kind of like if you imagined this beautiful light spiraling out, and in a kind of grid-like structure, a hexagonal maybe, grid-type structure, you could imagine that, but more intricate. I'm just kind of giving the basic, because he can't really explain the complicated stuff to me because I don't understand it. He's told me you have to go and get the books to understand this. When are you going to do that? Because you're smart enough to do it, and I want to teach it to you, so do it. Like the light is expanding along these grid lines, where in some places it will be more powerful than in others at first, but it will spread out across the entire planet, almost like almost like a web, but instead like a very intricate grid, and it's crystalline in its nature, and this is something that the crystal children understand a lot better than the Indigo children, which is why Kryon loves working with the Indigo children. So the expansion that we went through, imagine you're the universe and you're everything. Why did we have to go through what we went through? We get born into total abuse, have no idea that our parents are willingly or unwittingly screwing us over, grooming us to be, soldiers, mindless soldiers in this new world, and a few stragglers like me that are like survivors in The Walking Dead. Interesting that The Walking Dead, I don't think it's running right now, is it? Or is it? Maybe. That would be funny if it was. Why did that have to happen? Well, I asked Kryon, and he said, well, Krista, this is obvious. And I said, oh, because I suddenly understood. He didn't have to explain it. What it was that with the universe, imagine that you were simply everything, that you wanted to know everything. You knew everything so far, and you wanted to know more. Let's say you go down to this planet called Earth, where lots of cool stuff is happening. You look down and you see lots of stuff is happening there. And you see at this particular time period, you get yourself born right over along this 1980s period, right? Okay, and so then you get to experience the millennium. Oh, wow, oh, cool, okay. And then after that, okay, and everyone becomes a drug addict, and has to get over that. Oh, that sucked, but that produced a lot of growth. And then after that, everybody starts activating at random, and talking like a half a robot thing, and we start realizing, wait, you mean the Matrix, the movie, was real? And stuff like that, and like you wait, you mean Dune was real? No way. That kind of stuff. The universe really benefits from this. Why? Because it takes cues from us. We're like the walking gods, and the universe expands based on what we do. That's what universal expansion is. So for all of the Indigo children that had to go through total hell, we went through total hell to come out the other side, because then the universe sees, oh, okay, I'm definitely not gonna do that again next time, guys. Okay, next time we do a multiplayer game, we're gonna do it this way, okay? Very much like that. And reptilians, they think about it like a game, because they're doing things that are constantly sadistic. They have to think of it in a very detached game-like sense, like it's a sports game, so that they can actually do what they're doing, so that they're disconnected from it or dissociated from it. So that's and so now a lot of any Indigos that are frustrated, or older ones who are frustrated that they managed to get past the current reptilian overmind stuff, and have found themselves completely friendless or abandoned by their family, or in a place full of drones, or in a place full of mindless people, or in a place full of people that are Amish or Bible Belt types, and that's it. Well, it's okay. Kryon understands, and all I know is that, I did read the Metatron, the R. Mackenzie All You Need to Know Metatron book, but for some reason I just Metatron didn't say anything to me. I didn't talk to Metatron. It was Kryon who, as soon as I picked up the book, as soon as it was sent to me in the mail, and I picked up the book, and when I opened it and I picked it up, he started talking to me as soon as I picked up the book, and I thought that the book talked to me. The book, are you the thing in the book? And it's telling me, yes, I'm not in the book, I'm everywhere, but yes, that technically I'm the thing in the book. The way you think about it in the book. So for Indigos who are frustrated with activating to more crystalline structure, he's saying this because of me, who he wants to call his associate, because he calls Lee Carroll his partner. And it would be kind of insulting to call me like a partner. I think he thinks because he's been working with Lee for so long. But he says she's definitely an associate of mine. She knows that. She's definitely an associate of mine. And so he's been explaining, so with the Indigos, everything is going towards crystalline structure now. So with the crystal children, rainbow children, those are the teenagers who need to figure out what they're doing with themselves, if it's going to be Attack of the Clones or Attack of the Angels, or Attack of Nobody, which I vote for number 3. And Kryon likes number 3. Yeah, number 3 is catalyst number. Number 5, what I am on the Enneagram, is the fast Mars change number. I thought it was kind of weird that it was Mars. I never really cared for Mars, but he said, well, Mars is a fighter. Do you consider yourself a fighter? And he said, and I said, yeah. So he said, okay, does the energy suit you then? So I said, okay, well, alright, Kryon, I don't understand this numerology, astrology stuff, but I guess I'll have to. And the interesting Hebrew, I haven't gotten really any of the interesting Hebrew stuff in the 12 layers of DNA. I've probably read the book cover to cover however many times that I could while I was in prison. But the numerology, you can figure out a lot from numerology. Pretty much all books are done with weird satanic numerology. Now, no number is to be feared. The energy that it's charged with, he says, is what it is to be feared. So, like for example, in Kryon Book 1, he told me you have to correct this because you know, he wasn't really being allowed to say the correct thing, and I'm not going to explain the story on why that would be. But let's just say that it had to do with the reptilians making fun of me carrying around the Kryon book because they were saying, ha ha ha, we wrote that book. Oh, Kryon, you like the Kryon book? Well, we wrote the Kryon book. I'll just tell you that. And so he would say, Kryon says in book 1 in there, what was it? We'll come back. But basically, he says some things that aren't all correct, but they're correct enough because that he's counting on humans to figure it out. He was counting on someone to figure out what was going on in the situation that he was in, and so he had to very cleverly sneak information around the system. So what does he talk about in book 1? He talks about well, all kinds of interesting scientific information. Oh, the energy of numbers. That's where we're at. He was talking about the 666, and I just felt something's wrong when I read this paragraph. He says the 666 is not something to be feared. The 6 is just a phantom 9, and I think something feels wrong. And just go off of what you feel. And it has to be what you feel. It's not feeling like this feeling like this from in here. That was what I finally had to figure out, that the only way to really feel if something is going to be accurate at that point in your life or not is to feel it here rather than trying to feel, okay, can I sense anything? No. You have to feel it from here. And so he'll talk about the way numbers vibrate, for example. So the 666, the number 6 is not to be feared because Kryon, he's personally biased kind of towards the number 6, and so am I, because 6 is my wing type on the Enneagram. And the guy, the author, is got to be a type 6, and he says like that he loves the number 6 too. And my name, the numerology on my name adds up to 6, which is prayer and communication. With the 6 3 times, it's not that a 6 3 times is bad. What's bad is that this number has become charged and associated with this evil, negative, apocalyptic energy. It's become charged with a concept. So it's like the idea of a number being charged with an energy, and that number is like a code that goes off. So like I saw something on YouTube where before a music video shoot, a girl was asked to chant 666 with all the people there, and nobody else seemed to understand that 666 was something in the book of Revelation, and she was like, hello, you know, like, does anyone even know what you're saying? She said they were making light of it, like 666, and that is how they are. I did not know that. I figured that out once when I was imprisoned, but it's the energy behind that. So rather than fearing the energy behind the number, say the 666, instead we have to transmute the energy to something else. And he says something in book 1 that he's counting on all of us intuitive starseeds to figure this stuff out without his help, because he can't totally give all of it through the official channels. He gives a power formula in book 1, and it's just 4 numbers, and he says this has to do with the transmutation of energy, and your intuition will guide you as to what this means. And then in book 12 he says, I don't know what this means to anyone, and then book 12 was written in 2010 or 2011, and he says, I don't know what this means to anyone, but in 1992 there was a woman who activated the entire grid, and she named it the Great Activation. Her name was, and he named her, I could find it and find her name. And he says, I honor her. I'm not sure what that means to you, but I honor her. And I was reading that when I was imprisoned, and I was like, wow, whoa, okay. I'm not sure what that means to you, but I honor her. She named it something. And I thought, oh, okay. So the we already had a great activation. We already had a harmonic convergence. We had a Agenda 21 intercept. Gonna name that something cool. Okay. But so what we need to do is we need to take the energy behind 666 and reevaluate it and transmute it into something positive. The power formula that he gives, he's just telling this to me now. He's reminding me, the power formula that he gives is 9944. Or, let me see if I can actually get this. Get book 1. See, guys. See, check out, book 12. The only writing in this book is wherever my own writing. There's not even very much writing in here, but the only writing in here is my own, or almost none, because I don't even really write in books. Now, while I was in prison, this book would sit right next to it, and magically, writing would just appear on the inside. And like for example, the name of the guy who gave me the book, he said he was giving it to me for free or something, and I thought, okay, that's nice. But let's find it, Kryon. Let's just find it. And he gives he says this is very important in the transmutation of energy. And I think there it is. Yep, 999944. So let's what's the bold there? Let's read what he gets. Let's here. The number 11. Well, he doesn't like to say what he is. Also of mild interest. This is book 1. Remember, back in 1992. 1992. He's saying all this stuff. None of us would have believed any of it. Also of my mild interest. If you take the letters of my tone name, because he says his name is Kryon, like a tone, like a sound. If you take the letters of my tone name Kryon and assign a Western alphabet number to each of the letters, just A equals 1, B equals 2, Z equals 26. then add up the numbers, you will result in the number 83, which then adds to the number to create 11. This is significant and describes who I am even better to those of you who have intuitive knowledge of number meanings. This is why I chose this spelling in your language. The spelling of my name was not supplied by your writer. The number 11 will tell you of my character. When you multiply this number by the power vibration 3, it results in 33, and will give you insight as to my service. I will give you an important power formula, 9944. Your discernment and intuition will eventually lead you to the meaning of this, but it is important in the transmutation of energy. Now, in book 1, he wouldn't say he was an angel or anything like that, because he just didn't want to talk about it. He wanted to talk about the science, and get some of the sciencey people, and didn't want to scare them off by saying, "Hi, I'm an angel too," anything like that. But let's see, what did people do? Like there's basically like what this here, you cannot change your mind. That people tried to write stuff all over his, like they underlined starvation a billion times in here, and then Kryon will refer to HIV as the immunity disease, and they'll underline that. We're trying to give you HIV, we're trying to kill you, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's great, guys. But I think what Kryon might mean here, he said, "Krista, I'd like you to talk about me for the first time and what I say." So, okay, we are. I think he means with this concept, the 9944 idea. I also did try to use that, even though I didn't really know how or what to do. All I did was sort of think of a sequence. Okay, 9, 9, 4, 4, 9, 9, 4, 4, and repeat that, however, in a series of times, and I figured out that it was transmuting negative energy to positive energy, because 9 represents completing a cycle, and 4 is earth energy. It generally gets associated with a lot of satanic energy, and also the number 8 too, sadly, 4 and 8 meant to. Well, because 2 represents the duality, the good and the evil. So you've got those multiples, the multiples of 2 give you that duality there. So they're not evil numbers or anything, but they get used by, things that you would call the dark arts a lot of the time. So with 2 9s, what's he telling me here? With 2 9s, you have a cycle twice, and then you have the earth energy, the number 4 there twice. He says look up the meaning. He's